Thanks so much, Brad. Our top story this half hour, a new fire in Pleasant Grove. That Battle Creek 2 fire has now forced the evacuation of more than 24 homes. Fire crews calling it, again, the Battle Creek 2 fire because a similar fire was burning in that area a year ago. First word of this fire came in around 8 p.m. last night. Crews say the fire has burned about 50 to 70 acres. Winds pushed that fire up the mountain overnight, but worries of a downwind in the morning have led to 35 homes being evacuated. The Red Cross on the scene to help those who are out of their homes right now.
We knew we needed to do a quick response, just like any of the fires that are close by large populations, that the Pleasant Grove Rec Center is the place where we're currently evacuating to.
The Red Cross says it is arranging with local hotels to take evacuees to ensure social distancing and even make room for pets. The Red Cross thanks to those who are bringing resources to the Red Cross centers. Well, Fox 13's photojournalist Aaron Healy has been live for us throughout the morning there in Pleasant Grove at this Battle Creek 2 fire. We've been getting some information from the scene from him right there. We're getting a little more light into the picture. Aaron, good morning. How are things looking right now?
Good morning, Amy. Things are looking pretty well. The fire did make a little run up the mountain here, close to the G. Finger of the fire kind of came out, and as you know, fire likes to burn uphill, so it kind of ran uphill. It's kind of calming down again at the moment. It's kind of made its run up to about this point right here, as you can see in the video. Spoke briefly to the public information officer. They're currently in their morning briefing, talking about the day's assignments that they're going to go through to fight this fire. They did mention they already have one helicopter assigned to this fire, so folks in the area could expect to see lots of aircraft here helping fight this fire at the moment. As you can see, it is pretty close to the G up there on the mountain.
Oh, wow, it really is. It's right next to it. My goodness, that's a clear shot now that we have a little light of the day in the view.
Yeah, and Aaron, you're out there right now. Can you tell us how are the winds? Have the winds died down? Is it pretty calm out there at this early morning hour?
Well, the winds are rather calm. In fact, I'll pull the video, the camera shot out a little more so you can see the wind just kind of is bringing the smoke straight up, which is, you know, as a firefighter, you like to see calm winds and the smoke rising as a column like that. Kind of tells you that you're not going to have to worry about fighting a lot. But as you can see also, some of the smoke is drifting towards the north, so it means you have some southerly winds. But, you know, winds do change as the day goes on. Usually right around 10 a.m. most times you'll see the wind shift around with the heating of the day. Waiting to get a little more details on the acreage right now at the moment. As you can see, like the fire kind of, zoom in here a little closer, is kind of just crawling around real close to the G, just through the underbrush. Once in a while you might see some occasional torching where the fire is running up either a juniper tree or another tree in the area, and you'll see a good deal of flames. But for the most part, it's kind of in a lull at the moment.
Wow. All right, you mentioned firefighting. We're lucky to have Aaron here in our ranks because he is a former firefighter, so an expert on stories like these. What are the toughest conditions for firefighters to face in something like this? I know we're dealing with some dry conditions out there.
Well, it's going to be the terrain. The terrain is going to be the toughest portion you face during the day, especially given, you know, how the slope on these mountains that they have to deal with. And with the heating of the day, a lot of times the wind can shift, especially earlier in the morning, and then eventually later on in the afternoon when the wind kind of comes down the mountains once the heating of the day is done. But for the most part, you know, firefighters are trained with their the 10s and 18s that they call it, the 10 standard firefighting orders and the 18 situations that shout watch out, and they stick to those, and usually that's how they keep their safety.
And Aaron, do you know if those evacuations are still in order for those 35 homes that were forced to evacuate overnight?
From what I read from one of the releases, that most of them, like you said earlier in your earlier report, they found places to stay at some of the hotels. I haven't been able to see, but from my vantage point, I could kind of show you guys down here. This is the closest point of the fire down here. You kind of can see some of the area that's burned, and that's real close to the benches. And in fact, you can see there's one of the rigs right there. But from what this vantage point is, it's right around, I would say, the edge of it would be right along Bonneville Shoreline Trail.
Wow, it's really remarkable to see that burning here this morning. We'll keep you up to date on this fire. Aaron Healy, we appreciate your reports. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We'll check back in with you again shortly.